Dear students, I am Dr. Nidhi Sharma, Associate Professor, Zoology, p.g.govt.college, Jhalawar. Today, in this part, I shall tell you about evolution. We shall go through a quick review of evolution. What is evolution? Evolution is the central theme of biology. According to Dobzhansky, nothing in biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. Evolution, that is, a change over time. It can be applied to many things, so we use a more specific definition in biology, that is, organic evolution, which is equal to the change in allele frequencies over time. What is an allele? Allele is the alternate form of a gene. If one variation of a gene confers some sort of advantage in a particular environment, it is more likely to be passed on. The term evolution does not imply a mechanism. Many mechanisms have been hypothesized. Natural selection is accepted as the primary mechanism of adaptive evolution. Other mechanisms include sexual selection, genetic drift, and genetic bottlenecks. Now, how does evolution occur? Firstly, it occurs through speciation. Speciation is the formation of a new species, which can proceed by many mechanisms. Speciation results in the bifurcation, that is, separation of one species into two different species of a lineage or group of related organisms. Now, speciation is number one, allopatric speciation, which is believed the most common method of speciation, and it is also believed to be by this method that human beings have evolved. This primarily results from genetic drift and natural selection. Now, what is genetic drift? Genetic drift is a random change in allele frequencies over a considerably long time, most common in genes, and is not subject to natural selections. During genetic drift, differences accumulate when two populations become separated from each other. Now, history of evolution. Evolution is an old theory. Darwin didn't come up with evolution. He did provide evidence for it and therefore popularized it and made it possible for the scientific discipline to call it evolutionary biology. He also didn't come up with the phrase survival of the fittest that we should probably forget that we have ever heard of. Now, what about Darwin? Darwin, Charles Darwin, used and preferred the phrase descent with modification. Darwin developed the theory of natural selection. Natural selection, according to Darwin, is a mechanism of evolution, not an equivalent term to evolution. Now, there was this person, scientist called Alfred Russel Wallace. He is also known as the father of biogeography. At the same time, when Darwin was developing his hypothesis, Alfred Russel Wallace also came up with the idea of natural selection independent of Darwin's ideas. Then we have Charles Lyell. He popularized uniformitarianism, a concept developed by James Hutton. Then there was Thomas Malthus, who wrote an essay on population that highlighted a struggle for limited resources in a large population. Now, the inspiration of evolution came from the proofs given by geology, that is, uniformitarianism, is the process which shaped the earth today, are the same and occur at the same rate as the processes that have shaped the earth in the past. For examples, canyons are formed over a very long time through the same process of erosion as occurs right now. Sand on the beaches have been formed through millennium of waves hitting the shore just like they do now. Now, natural selection, a logical argument can be given for this. Number one, reproduction results in more offspring than the size of the current population. Number two, there is variation in all traits, that is types. Number three, much of the variation is heritable. Number five, there is variation in fitness as a result of having or not having certain variations of traits. What is fitness? Fitness is the average number of offspring left by an individual relative to the number of offsprings left by an average member of the population. Fitness is relative reproduction. What can influence fitness? Natural selection. If natural selection occurs, the distribution of genotypes or phenotypes of the next generation will reflect the distribution of the more fit members of the previous generation. Not all traits are under the influence of natural selection. Students, I shall continue in about the quick review of evolution in my next part.